Hi, Yvonne. Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
and we could
Perfect.
hear you. And you could
Awesome.
hear me.
Perfect.
Okay, good. I was having issues with my headset. I'm like, no, not right now, please. Okay, I'll be back, okay?
Okay. Hi, Lilium.
Hello, how are you? Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly. Thank
All
you for joining
right.
us. We got
Sure
both of
has
you, Yvonne and you. Awesome.
yes, we're here. William, you? Good.
How's it going, Brian?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing great.
That is good to hear.
Right, we're going to go ahead and get started. Can you guys hear me okay? Perfect. All right. Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome. My name is Alfonso Ruiz, and I am the College and Career Counselor for Simi Valley High School. We are thrilled you joined us tonight for night 2 of 3 of our 3-night college info webinar series. If you happen to miss yesterday's webinar on the Ventura County Community Foundation scholarships, don't worry. All 3 webinars will be posted on our district website in the next coming weeks. Tonight's webinar is called the CSU application process. Before we jump in, let's cover a few important housekeeping items to ensure everything runs smoothly. First, this is a webinar format, so we cannot see or hear you. Number 2, just a heads up, this session is being recorded and will be available on the district website at simivalleyusd.org under Workshops Archives. Number 3, we'll have plenty of time for your questions at the end. Please drop them in the Q&A section and we'll tackle them together. We encourage you to hold off until the end, as many questions might get answered during the presentation. Please do not use the raise hand feature, as we cannot pause or interrupt the program to address raised hands. All right. With that, I would like to thank you all for being here tonight. This is going to be a great session. For those of you who need Spanish interpretation, we have our amazing interpreters, Miss Yvonne and Mrs. Lilliam, who will be providing interpretation for this evening. So for those of you who need interpretation, as you can see right there on the screen, you'll go ahead and you can call that number and that extension and use the passcode. And if Yvonne and Lilliam, if you guys are able to go ahead and every so often periodically inside the chat, put that information, that'd be great. All right. Now let's give a warm welcome to our speaker, Mr. Brian Gittens. Mr. Gittens is an outreach counselor for California State University Northridge, also known as CSUN, where he graduated with a bachelor's degree in communication studies. He is passionate about helping students navigate their college journey, and we are excited to have him here today to share valuable insight about the CSU system and the application process. Right. Take it away, Brian.
Good evening, everyone. I'll go ahead and share my screen here. It's saying sharing is not turned on. Host isn't allowing multiple presenters for sharing this webinar.
Let me take a look and see. My understanding, you should be able to share it. There you go. Should work now.
Perfect, yes. Okay, everything looks good? Perfect. Well, thank you, Alfonso, for that very warm welcome. As mentioned, I am an outreach counselor at California State University Northridge, and I'm going to cover the CSU system and the application process for our campuses tonight. So the CSU system is comprised of 23 universities that span an 800-mile stretch of land across California. We have a campus all the way down in the most southern part of California, being Cal State San Diego, and then you can go all the way up into Northern California for Cal Poly Humboldt. As mentioned, there are 23 universities within our system. We are the largest and most diverse public university system within the United States. And we really offer a campus at all environments that you can imagine. So if you're looking to be close to the beach, we have options like Monterey Bay that your classes will be overseeing the ocean. If you want to be up in the mountainous and forest area, of course, you have Cal Poly Humboldt. And we have universities located inside direct hearts of cities like San Francisco and Cal State LA. So we really offer every environment that you can imagine. As you see there, we are focused on meeting the state's workforce demands. So we are very focused on producing graduates that will enter into the workforce for the state of California. And we produce nearly half of California's bachelor's degrees that are awarded each year. That means 1 out of every 10 California employees holds a bachelor's degree from the CSU system. We offer a very diverse hands-on learning experience at each of our universities. We have a wide range of different research centers across California. We pride ourselves in having students have the ability to connect directly with their faculty and staff that are oftentimes directly connected to the industry that they are teaching in. So students have direct access to these professors to work with them on research projects or just learn a little bit more about whatever industry they're looking to work in. This gives students a very unique opportunity that they're able to connect with people and develop those connections to build a network outside of the university as well. We do have a number of different research opportunities. One of the most notable ones within our system is the CSU Startup Launch. This is a competition that occurs every single year for all CSU students at any campus to compete in. For the last year's competition, the 2023 competition, the winner of the competition was actually San Jose State. The group of students that won this project were a part of multiple different majors. They were business majors, communication studies majors, as well as mechanical engineering students. And they developed a small little tag using flexible circuit board and attached these to helmets of sports players, specifically football players. And they are used to register and calculate the impact of blows during games and can identify concussions before even having to do a concussion protocol. This technology, by them winning this, they were obviously given an award money to develop this project. And this technology is now used by multiple different university football teams across the United States, as well as some teams within the National Football League, the NFL as well. So just a brief little example of what kind of opportunities can come out of attending a CSU school. We also offer a wide range of different study abroad options. Each university has 18 different countries that you can study at. This allows students to become global citizens and definitely looks very good on a resume, offering different perspectives to employers. Our study abroad options are at the cost of in-state tuition, and students can utilize their financial aid to pay for the study abroad as well. There's many different programs that students can study abroad for, so it's not limited by major. And students at any year, any class standing, so freshman to senior, they have the option to study abroad as well. Some of the more popular majors that students that are studying abroad would be biology, business, of course, kinesiology, and very popular nutrition as well. So having the opportunity to go to another country and study these topics while still paying in-state tuition is definitely something that you should look into and take advantage within our system. So there's quite a bit you can study at the CSU system. In total, we offer over 4,000 degrees across our 23 campuses. Each campus has very notable programs. And like I said, every program is going to be very hands-on to prepare the students entering into the workforce. If you're looking for agriculture, we have campuses like Fresno State that they have hundreds of acres of farmland actually owned and operated by the campus. They have their own wine label as well that you can learn the business of wineries. We have campuses like Cal State LA that are specializing in fire protection administration. So if we're looking to be a firefighter and a crew chief eventually one day, campuses like Cal State LA can support you in that. They also specialize in forensic science and global intelligence and national security. So students that are looking to work for the FBI or CIA, these programs are helping them prepare for that. We have campuses like Cal Poly San Luis Obispo that specialize in dairy science. They actually have their own wine and cheese label as well. And they developed their own ice cream on campus as well. So if you ever have the opportunity to visit Cal Poly SLO on their campus tour, they actually conclude with a sample of their campus ice cream. So as you see, there's a whole lot of different majors that you can study at our campus. And it can be overwhelming when looking at the different options. So we have a tool that you can utilize on our CSU website. This is by far the biggest and most beneficial tool you can utilize at this stage in the application process. If we're still unsure of what degree we want to study in college, this is going to be your best friend. So on this website, you can visit the CSU website and find it by just looking at the degree search. And it's a search engine within the website that you can type in any keyword, any industry, any job you're looking to go into, and it will create a list of majors that are offered that align with whatever keywords you typed in. I highly encourage you to take advantage of this. Like I said, if we're still deciding between degrees, maybe we have a career that we're interested in, definitely utilize this, check it out, see what campuses come up. It'll take you to a direct link to the campus with the program description, so you can learn a little bit more detailed information about what the program has to offer, what courses you'll be taking, and of course, the format of the program as well. So definitely utilize this tool. This is going to be your best friend in helping you decide your major. When you look at the application, every single major is listed there for each campus, so it can be very overwhelming. So this can help you narrow it down to what campuses to look at and what majors to check out as well. This QR code is going to be a direct link to our CSU website. It'll take you right to the application page. On that page, you can scroll down a little bit and you'll have access to the student resources that include our application guide. The application guide is another tool that you can utilize. Of course, you can always contact any campus that you are applying to ask for assistance, but the application guide will answer a lot of general questions for you as well, so you can get the immediate assistance. In total, we currently have just under 500,000 undergraduate students across our 23 campuses. And on average, we have a 91% freshman acceptance rate for our universities. So these would be our admissions requirements, what we call CSU eligibility. In order to be considered CSU eligible, you of course have to have your A through G requirements completed at the time of graduating high school. You'll see the A through G requirements listed right there. They include all of your courses, your English, your mathematics, your science, your college preparatory classes, and the year requirements that we are looking for at the time of graduation. The minimum CSU GPA is going to be a 2.5 for California residents. Some of the impacted campuses or campuses that have impacted majors might be requiring a higher GPA than the minimum. So I encourage you to look at each campus of what GPA they're requiring for the program that you're applying to. But in order to be considered CSU eligible, a 2.5 is what you need. We are considered test blind. So what that means is we do not require the SAT or ACT for admissions purposes. On the application, there is a section for you to include your score, but is not included in the admissions process. It is only utilized to place you in the proper English or math classes if you include them. If you aren't confident with the scores that you received on them, it is okay to just skip that part of the application and not include any of your test scores. Like I said, they are not required for admissions purposes. We also do not require any essays or personal insight questions, no letters of recommendation. You're just going to be inputting your high school coursework for admissions purposes. We do still encourage students to apply if they have less than a 2.0, students with a, or 2.5, sorry, students with a 2.0 to a 2.49, we still encourage them to apply because of our multi-factor admission score. So the primary factors that we would be looking at would be the GPA in the courses after 9th grade to 11th grade, so 10th and 11th grade. And then some of the impacted campuses will look specifically at the GPA in the subjects taken that are relevant to the major you're applying to. Of course, you have to be A through G eligible with the 15-unit A through G eligibility. For those students that might have below the 2.5 GPA, they will get additional points onto their grade point average depending on the secondary supplemental factors that campuses will look at. So as you see, this is just a short list of the supplemental factors that we look at. It might be based off the location of the high school if it is in the local service area of the university. Some of the student attributes that include first generation students, if they're former foster youth or if they are part of a military service family. These are just, like I said, a short list of things that can give you additional points on the GPA that might help a student reach that 2.5 GPA threshold. If we aren't CSU eligible by the time of graduation, there are still additional ways to get to the CSU system. We have a program called the Transfer Success Pathway Program that is for community college students. So if we decide to go the community college route, start at the community college level, you can guarantee admission to a CSU by enrolling into our TSP program. This is for students to sign up in their first semester at the community college, and you enter into an agreement with your selected campus for your major of interest. And once you meet the minimum CSU requirements of their university, you will be guaranteed admission to their school. Now, every single CSU, all 23 campuses do offer this program, but not every major is offered at every university. So if we decide to go the community college route and we are interested in the TSP program, you can make an account on the transfer planner and you'll be able to see the programs that are offered for each campus. Some of the more impacted majors at the impacted campuses are not going to be available, so it is definitely not a way to avoid the impaction. But each campus has at least some programs posted on our TSP program. And like I said, it is a transfer guarantee. So this is the fastest and best way for community college students to enter into the CSU system. So I mentioned that word a lot, impaction. What does impaction mean? In its simplest form, it means that a campus is receiving too many eligible students and they do not have the space to accommodate and admit all of those eligible students into the program. Some campuses, which I'll show you a list of the campuses, are impacted at every single major that is offered. And other campuses might only have a couple programs that are impacted. So I highly encourage you to check with the campus, make sure that the major that you're applying to is or isn't impacted, and then to ask how they are handling the impaction, what additional admissions requirements they are asking of you, and what would be the GPA that they're looking at for students. I will use Northridge as the example. Northridge has 2 impacted programs. One of them is cinema and television arts, and the other is music. Our music department requires an audition for admissions, and our cinema and television arts department ranks students by GPA and requires a higher GPA than the minimum. This is going to be the 6 impacted campuses. So any major that you select at these universities is going to be considered impacted. As you see, Cal Poly Pomona does have a star next to it. This means that it's only impacted at the freshman level. They're going to give primary decisions or priority decisions to students within their local service area before they consider students outside of their service area. At the other 5 schools, any major you select is going to be impacted. And like I said, I encourage you to connect with the university. Every school has an office of student outreach and recruitment or student outreach and admissions, and they'll be happy to let you know how their campuses handle the impaction for each major. These are our non-impacted campuses. Now, Just because they are not considered an impacted campus does not mean that they do not have impacted programs. As I mentioned before, Northridge is on this list. We are not an impacted campus, but we do have 2 impacted programs. So it's very important to reach out to the schools, find out the impaction is not stated on the application when you view the programs. There is a question at the end of the application that will ask you to acknowledge that you are applying to an impacted program, but it doesn't notify you until the end of the application. So I encourage you to check with the campus first to find out which programs are impacted. And like I said, impaction just means that there's not enough space to accommodate the students that the amount of students that are applying. So the CSU system is committed to California students. More than 50% of our graduates are the first in their family to receive a bachelor's degree. So we are very first generation focused. And as you see, over 90% of our students enrolled in our universities come from within California. So most of our students are living in California, and we're preparing them to enter the workforce in California as well. Now, I know the big question of this year, especially for our parents, is how much is college going to cost? How are we going to pay for college? The state tuition fee of the CSU system is a little over $6,000. Now, this is the state tuition fee across the board, and each campus will have different campus fees added on top of it. In the example of Cal State Northridge, our campus fees are a little over $1,500, making our tuition about $7,500 each year. You would divide that by 2 for each semester, dividing the cost for the fall and spring semester. And that would be just for the classes that you would be enrolling in for your 15 or 12 units that you would be enrolling in each semester. On-campus housing varies. The cost of housing varies at each campus, and it's really based off location. For example, schools like Chico have a very cheap and affordable housing option, both on their campus and in the surrounding area. When you're going to a campus such as Northridge or Los Angeles, Cal State LA, where the cost of living in the surrounding area is quite high, it is going to be more expensive than a university like Cal State Chico. For some campuses, it might be required for you to live on campus within your first year. So definitely check with the housing department of each university to find out if living on campus is required for first year students. But most campuses do not make it a requirement to live on campus. Meal plan options are available for each campus to eat on the campus. And also definitely consider the indirect costs as well. For the most part, most of the campuses have taken advantage of a new initiative to reduce the cost of books and course material. Most of our campuses are offering all course material at a reduced cost within the portal. So all of your books and materials that you will need for the semester will be automatically uploaded into your educational portal, and it'll just be a one-time fee. Our campus fee at CSUN is only $160 if you're taking 5 courses. So definitely a lot more affordable. If you've ever visited a college fair within a campus brochure, oftentimes you see a very high price of books and supplies. These prices are often taken into account for renting or purchasing books. But now with this new initiative across the CSU system, you will not need to purchase or rent books in hard copy format, and they will all be uploaded into your portal for that reduced cost. Of course, taking other things into consideration like transportation if we're commuting to campus, these are all things to consider. But by far, we are the most affordable option within California, and a lot of our students are graduating debt-free as well. So this is the link to the Cal State Apply application. The application is currently open for our seniors. The application period this year is from October 1st all the way to January 2nd, or not January 2nd, December 2nd. You should check with each campus for the deadlines, because some campuses like CSUN are open until January 31st. That is why I had January on our mind, because our application is open past the normal deadline. For most of the impacted campuses, it's going to be a hard December 2nd deadline because they need to start evaluating the applications and possibly ranking the students based off GPA, and all the students will receive an admissions decision once all applications are evaluated. My suggestion would be to get it in by November 15th. A lot of campuses have a priority deadline of November 15th that you will hear back with an earlier admissions decision. But like I said before, the impacted campuses are going to wait until December 2nd before any student receives an admissions decision. So that's all the general information that I have for you on the CSU system. I'm going to change my screen and share with you the actual application. And we'll go into a little more detail about the actual application process of what you will look at once you make an account. So this website, Cal State Apply, is where you will find the application. You'll scroll down and make sure that you select the correct term to apply for. If we're a senior, we're applying for fall 2025. You'll press apply, and you'll have to first make an account. Since I already have an account, I'm just going to sign in. But when you first create an account, you'll be greeted by the extended profile that you'll have to set up immediately upon creating an account. So you'll select that you're seeking your first bachelor's degree and that you're a graduating high school senior or equivalent. And depending on if we have done and taken advantage of dual enrollment, we will select yes or no off this option. Make sure you answer the rest of the questions accordingly. And once you complete your extended profile, you will then be greeted by the Add Program section. Like I said, this is the overwhelming area of the application. Every single campus is listed in here by alphabetical order with every single program that they offer. The easiest way is take advantage of the degree search, find the campuses that you're interested in, the program that you want to select, and then you can filter by the campus. So I'm going to use Northridge as the example. You would select CSU Northridge. And a very popular program that we offer is Cinema and Television Arts. And it will filter only Cinema and Television Arts and our options that we offer. When you find the program at the campus that you're interested in, you will hit the blue plus on the left-hand side. I had a previous option selected, so it's just going to ask me if I want to confirm to change my selection. Yes. And once you select the major, you'll then be greeted by the 4-quadrant application. Once you're in this section, you can go back to the Add Program area if we're applying to multiple different schools and filter by another campus and add another program that you're interested in. You can add up to as many programs or one program at each campus that you're interested in. And if you qualify for the fee waiver, the first 4 campuses that you select will be free of charge. Every campus after that will be the $70 application fee. So the 4-quadrant application, very easy and straightforward. The first quadrant is your personal information. You'll see here, these are just questions about the student. It includes some financial and parental information. So make sure that we have access to our 2023 tax information to answer the financial questions on this tab. This is probably the easiest and most straightforward. You're just answering questions about yourself. The student can fill this out very easily on their own, but will need the assistance of the parent for the financial and parental information. The biggest and most time-consuming quadrant is going to be the academic history. Within this section, this is where you're inputting all of your high school coursework, each individual class that you've taken. So as you see here, I was helping a student from Cleveland High School. So I stated that I attended Cleveland High School. You will include the high school that you attended and the years that you started and the system that you was the school. So you see, you can search by your schools, input everything. This search function comes up automatically with all schools within California. So you'll very easily be able to find your school that you attended. And it has a description of the term types to help you select what the correct one. In this section, you'll make sure that you answer the graduation question correctly. And then if you did dual enrollment, under the high schools attended, you will see a community college attended section as well, where you can include the community college that you completed your dual enrollment units out at as well. This question, answer this question if you've completed high school outside the United States. This is for our students that might have units or courses from an international school. And then the high school coursework section is the big one to focus on. So you'll have to go semester by semester and input all of the A through G courses side of this section. So as example, I'll start with 9th grade at this school. We'll proceed, and you'll see that it will come up with 9th grade, semester-based, and you'll input the course sections. It gives you an example there, but you can enter in any class, and it will come up with the courses that are offered at the school. So again, it's very convenient and allows you to complete it in a faster way without having to manually type in the full name of every class. Now, if you don't see the class that you took offered here, you can manually type in the correct course name. So if it is not displayed, don't worry, it is okay. Sometimes classes are left out. It is up to the schools to properly upload every class that is offered. And if something is left off, you can always just manually type it in and proceed that way. Once you select a course, the course type is if it was AP, honors, right here, make sure we select the correct option, and then your grade that you received in the course. You will do this for every single class. Once you complete the correct grades and title of the course, you'll hit the green check mark. And then you'll edit and add another line, and you'll add each of your courses for 9th grade in total. You'll do this for every single grade level, so 9th all the way through 10th, including only your A through G eligible courses. You do not include courses like physical education, any PE courses on the application. Only your A through G courses is what you're putting onto the application. Like I said, this is definitely going to be the most time consuming. Make sure we input all of the courses correctly. Make sure we have the proper grades inputted for each of the classes. And if you ever have any questions, please, please, please reach out to whatever campus you're applying to and ask questions. Also, take advantage of your college office at your campus and definitely visit with your college counselor. They are very well versed in the application and helped plenty of students apply to universities. So they can definitely help you out as well during the school day. So definitely visit your college office and don't be afraid to give us a call or come into any campus to visit us for an application help. Campuses oftentimes host application workshops as well. So definitely look into events like those to visit a campus to actually sit down and work on the application with someone. So I'm just going to close out of this so I can save. Once you save your coursework, you'll be able to see it posted there. And in the standardized tests area, this is where you can add your SAT and ACT exams if you would like. If you have taken AP exams, this is the area that you will add the test scores as well. Again, like I mentioned before, we are test blind, so the ACT and SAT are not required for admissions, so we can skip this portion if we are not adding any standardized tests. The A through G match, it will do this automatically with your high school coursework that you inputted. So as you see, I added a science class in that previous section, and it has awarded me 1 year of my science class automatically for what I have inputted in the high school coursework section. There is an issue that I will let you know about in the application for those students that have done dual enrollment. If they're using a dual enrollment class to satisfy one of their A through G sections, it is not going to automatically calculate the year within this section. It is only going to calculate what you inputted in the high school coursework section. So if we have a dual enrollment class, and let's use the example of it being an English class, we need 4 years of English, and the application only is stating that we took 3 years of English, but we properly inputted our English course into the community college coursework section. We can manually override it and just click update A through G courses, and you'll be able to select you'll see the course offered at the community college, and you'll be able to put the correct section that it falls under. It will be blank. The community college course section will be blank here, and you'll be able to input the correct section that you see on the right-hand side to satisfy the year requirement. And then once you press save and continue, it'll update here and display 4 years, or for whichever class you're inputting, the correct year requirement. So make sure these match everything that you've taken, and that it adds up to a total of minimum of 15 total years. And once that's accurate, then you can accept and save and continue to the rest of the application. This is going to be the most time consuming and definitely the most confusing for students. I know it's a lot of information to hear right now. Once you are actually sitting down with your unofficial transcript and filling it out yourself, it'll make a lot more sense. And like I said, please give us a call, reach out to us, visit your college office to receive any assistance or ask any questions you have regarding any specific courses. The third quadrant of supporting information will be our educational opportunities program. There's also an area for you to include if you have any work experience for your specific major. Like I mentioned, this can give you additional points on your GPA for students applying to certain majors if their work experience falls under that specific industry. The EOP application is for our Educational Opportunities Program. This is a program that is offered at every California State University for our historically low income first generation students. This is a support program that will assist the student through their 4 years at the university, offering them exclusive academic advisors within their major department to assist them with the class scheduling portion once they are a student at a CSU. And there's often a lot of scholarship opportunities within this program as well to help students apply for college. So if we qualify for this program, make sure we fill out this application. You can submit the campus application and return to your account and fill this application out at a later date if we want to just make sure we get the application in and then return to the EOP application. That is a possibility as well. The deadline of the EOP application is January 15th. So it is extended past the December 2nd application deadline of a lot of campuses. So you can complete this after submitting your campus application. The fourth and final quadrant is a campus question for each campus you have selected. So as you see here, I have 2 different campuses and 2 different programs selected. Each campus has their own campus question in there. Some students, we get a lot of questions about this area that they looked and read and didn't see anything to complete the progress bar of this category. Make sure we hit the questions tab underneath the picture that you'll see. At Northridge, all we ask is students, if they have been previously disqualified from the university and they're returning as a CSUN student, and if they have any interest applying to housing or plans to live on campus. You will not find this housing question on the FAFSA application anymore. And this is definitely very important to answer if we are considering living on campus, so we can take this into consideration for your financial aid package. It won't be on the FAFSA, so we ask it on the CSU application. Every campus will ask you this question so they can take it into consideration for financial aid purposes. Like I mentioned before, you do not see until the very end of the application that you have selected an impacted major. So always check with the campus before, so you don't get to this stage and then realize that what you selected was impacted. Each campus that is impacted, or the major that is impacted, you'll just have to put the day's date that you are filling this out to acknowledge that you are aware that you are applying to an impacted program. And then specifically for cinema and television arts, we are letting you know that you will have to do a portfolio as a CSUN student to be moved from the provisional major to the actual major. So these are just acknowledgements that you are aware of these requirements before submitting your application. Each campus is different of what they include in here, and each program might be different at some campuses too. Some nursing programs at campuses will have a supplemental application for you to fill out specifically for their nursing department in here. So just be prepared for whatever campus questions are included in here. And once you complete that section, make sure you click on each individual school and fill out their questions as well. As you see, for Long Beach, they're just asking if you plan to live on campus or not. So like I said, the application is straightforward, but can be time consuming. On average, our students are taking about an hour to 2 to fill out the application, as long as they have their unofficial transcripts available to them, that they can fill out the academic history. We are available for help. I will use the example of Northridge. We do have an open house coming up on October 26th. And on that day, we will be hosting an application workshop for students to come and visit with us to fill out the application with an outreach counselor. So definitely take advantage of days like these to visit a school and have someone assist you fill out the application and visit your college office as well. They will be happy to help you too. That is our application. Once you have completed all 4 quadrants, you will see the progress bar completed and green check marks on every option, and you'll be able to submit the application. Like I said, if you qualify for the fee waiver, the first 4 applications will be for free, and then every application after that will be a $70 fee, and you can submit all applications at once. You can also notice the deadline is posted here as well, so it's an easy way to double check to make sure you are submitting before the deadline. So that is all the information that I have to cover for you tonight. And now I'll be happy to answer any questions that are posted in the Q&A section.
Perfect, Brian. Would you like me to read those questions for you?
Sure, yeah, that works.
All right. So the first one is asking, my student has issues with entering her summer school grades. What is summer 1 versus summer 2?
So some high schools offer 2 sessions for summer school. If your school does not offer 2 sessions for summer school, then just select summer 1. That would be for schools that only offer 1 summer school session. For schools that would offer 2 summer school sessions at different times, then you would select the proper session depending on which time of year you took it at.
Perfect. The next question we have, it says, which Cal State University specialize in nursing? I think you kind of went over this one in regards to that website where it was telling you about the different degrees.
Yeah, definitely check out the degree search. The 2 programs that I know off the top of my head would be Cal State Channel Islands and then Cal State LA. Both of them have direct nursing programs available for first-time freshmen to apply to. Northridge has a nursing program, but it is considered a transfer-only program. So we require students to attend a community college first, receive an associate's degree of nursing, and then transfer to our campus. But Channel Islands and LA both have direct nursing programs for first-time freshmen.
All right, this next question, I'm not quite sure what it's asking, but it's saying, is there a common application like the University of California?
So yeah, it would be just what I went over, the CSU application on Cal State Applied. That would be our similar applications as the other universities. All 23 campuses are housed in there, and it's just a separate application from the other systems. That's only the CSU. So Cal State Applied would be our application.
Perfect. Are there non-financial need scholarships offered?
Yes, each campus offers multiple different scholarships. Here at CSUN, students will have access to our scholarship portal in the spring semester. So you'll apply to each campus in the fall, and then spring is the time to start applying for scholarships. In the spring semester, CSUN has upwards of 200 different scholarships that are offered for multiple different criteria. So definitely check out the scholarship portal at each university. And a good tip is also reach directly out to the major department that you've applied to. Oftentimes they have exclusive scholarships that they will hold for students that are only participating in their major that won't be posted anywhere. So definitely contact your major department to find out about any unique scholarship opportunities they have for students.
Perfect. Next, we have, how do you qualify for fee waiver for applications? Is it only financial based?
So it's not only financial based. Veterans do have access to the fee waiver to receive the same 4 free applications. Within the actual application, the financial question within the personal information tab, the question that asks you about last year's tax information, that is where the actual application pulls the information from. So based off of the income that you state within there, if it is below a certain threshold, then the application will be, you will be awarded the fee waiver. So it's calculated within the application, but it's not just financial based. We do offer a fee waiver to veteran families as well.
Can you check your major at different schools before creating an account?
Yes, the CSU degree search. So you can just look on Google CSU degree search, and that search engine will allow you to filter by school, filter by the keywords, like I mentioned before, to find the majors that are offered at each specific campus.
My granddaughter lived part-time with each parent. What if one parent isn't cooperative in relieving their tax information?
So if we can get at least one parent to include their tax information, within that section, there is a questionnaire that you will answer. So if we fall under one of these sections, there's an area that states there's a long list of different situations that a student might fall under within a category. That will allow them to proceed past that question without including that information. So just make sure you read each question to its extent. Make sure we answer each thing. We might be able to avoid that area of the application, but if we can at least receive one parent's tax information, that's what you can include in that section of the application. I also will let you know that area of the application is not used for financial aid purposes. It is simply there to allow students to qualify for the fee waiver. It is not looked at past that. So whatever we can include in there, please do.
How are fee waivers granted? Do we have to contact each CSU?
No. So like I said, fee waiver housed in the application, it'll just be automatically taken into account, and the first 4 campuses that you add for their program will be for free. Now, if we're talking about a tuition fee waiver, that will be something that you have to contact each individual school out, and you'll have to complete additional paperwork to get that approved. But application fee waiver for the CSU application is just within the application. You do not need to contact anyone to receive it.
Is this application in conjunction with Common App? So 2 applications?
Yes, so if we're applying to UCs or private schools and CSUs, you're going to have to fill out the Cal State Apply application for CSUs and the Common App for the other systems as well. So 2 separate applications for the university systems.
You mentioned that you have to specify if the class you took was AP or honors. Is there an option for a class that's IB?
Yes, that option is there on the drop-down menu that you can select.
Does the test blind policy in regards to admissions apply to scores on AP exams?
So AP exams, schools are only going to accept the AP exam if it is a 3 or better for college credit. So if it is not a 3 or better, then I would just not include it on the application. You will still receive the additional points on your GPA as long as you labeled the class as AP within the course history section. So if we're didn't get a 3 or better, then you don't need to send us the test scores. But if you did receive a 3 or better, then I would encourage you to include that in that section so we can receive those test scores and award you credit for college courses at our campuses.
How do we know which A through G requirements dual enrollment classes apply to? For example, is computer science math or science? Is psychology a social science or college prep?
So I would connect with a counselor at your school regarding this information. There is a website that you can see which courses count for which A through G section. But connect with a counselor at your school because they will be better aware of what classes are counting for which credit in regards to A through G. Not every dual enrollment class is taken into account for an A through G, but it definitely is going to transfer over to us for college credit. It might just not be satisfying an A through G section, but definitely connect with a counselor at your school. They will have access to be able to view which courses are satisfying the A through G sections.
Once a student gets notified that they have been accepted, how long do they have to actually accept?
So the intent to enroll deadline is normally May 1st. So May 1st is when you will have to accept your intent to enroll to let the university know that you are planning to attend. Now you can accept multiple intent to enrolls. They are not necessarily a binding agreement, but some universities charge money for you to accept their intent to enroll. So it makes it more binding because if we're spending $200 to accept the intent, I would hope that we have plans to actually attend the university. A school like CSUN, we do not charge for our intent to enroll. Our intent to enroll is free, so you can accept ours for free. And then another university as well, if we still need more time after May 1st to make our decision.
Okay. If you plan on taking AP exams next May, how will those scores still be taken into consideration despite not being able to put it on the application?
So it's okay to be completed, or it's okay to take AP exams within your senior year. You will just send us those AP exams scores once you receive them. So it's okay for it not to be included on the application. The area on the application is just for you to include those scores that you have already completed so we can receive them. But once you have completed the exams, you see that you have scored a 3 or better on the exam, you can request them to be sent from College Board to the campus that you plan on attending so you can earn the credit at the university.
How does a student enter their middle school coursework? The middle scores aren't on the list and the years attended are not showing on the high school date selection dropdown.
So middle school coursework, make sure we're only including A through G courses that we have taken at the middle school. You will include it in the high school section. You will just include the course in the high school section for the middle school coursework.
When inputting the A through G, do you include ninth grade classes currently taking?
Yes, you include ninth grade A through Gs. Definitely include those because they help you reach the requirements. And you will include your senior year classes as well. In the dropdown, there is a dropdown that you will include that you have the courses in progress for the fall semester and then planned for the spring semester. So just make sure we labeled the classes correctly. The application this year should automatically do that. You should see the only option of planned and in progress for the current and future dates. So you shouldn't be able to make the mistake of labeling them as completed, but you will include ninth grade definitely, and then senior year as planned and in progress as well.
Are students with 504s considered for the EOP program?
Yeah, so our EOP program is for students. It's based off of financial. So it is, and the student has to be the first in the family that is attending a university. Or first, you can have multiple children within the EOP program, but it needs the parents cannot have a bachelor's degree. So first generation students and then historically low income. You will need to upload multiple years of tax information within there. The application is quite lengthy, so that is why the deadline is extended past the December 2nd deadline, because you will need to include letters of recommendation from 2 individuals at your high school. And you will need to answer quite a few personal questions regarding your experience in high school as well. So those would be the main requirements: first generation, historically low income, and just be prepared to include all that additional information and answer those questions. Each CSU campus has an EOP department at their campus with outreach counselors like myself for admissions, and they will be happy to assist you with that EOP application and answer any questions you have regarding what they're asking.
My student wants to major in archaeology, but they don't see it on the list. Is it a different major that they would apply to?
Yeah, so most campuses for archaeology, it is housed under anthropology. Some campuses, I'm not too sure of any off the top of my head, but I do know there are a couple campuses that offer it as an option underneath anthropology. At CSUN, we do not have an option of anthropology or of archaeology, but we do offer about 15 units, which is about 5 courses specifically in archaeology. So oftentimes it's housed under the anthropology department.
What type of STEM curriculum activities are available at CSUN?
Yeah, so we have a lot, to be honest. The big one would be our HERE Center, HERE, HERE Center. It's our big research center on campus that our STEM students and participate with students of other majors as well to develop a lot of different research projects. Within the College of Engineering, you will have design projects that you will be working on each year. So you'll actually be in our machinery labs, developing all sorts of different design projects. Over in our biology department, we have multiple different research labs on our campus that our professors are utilizing. We have 2 specific professors that are pretty known on our campus. One of them is known for his study of crickets, and the other is known for his study of cockroaches. And they actually have labs on our campus in our biology building that they are constantly bringing in students to help them with their research. And then we have another specific professor over there that is highly involved in cancer research. And he brings a lot of students to his off-campus research lab to participate in those opportunities as well. So there's plenty on and off campus that you can participate in specifically at CSUN.
Perfect. So it's 6:28 right now, and our Zoom's going to be ending at 6:30. So I will take one more question, and then if you have any more information for them, we'd greatly appreciate it. Last question we'll take here is, can the student apply for EOP if they are low income, but one parent just received her bachelor's degree this year?
No, unfortunately, the student wouldn't be considered first generation anymore then.
Right. Well, that's all we have for the questions, everyone. We greatly appreciate you coming tonight. Thank you, Brian, for the presentation. It's very informative. And for everybody else, just to let you know, tomorrow, please join us again. We will be having our 3rd night, which will be the information on completing the UC application, which will be presented by UC Santa Barbara. So again, thank you everybody for coming tonight. And as Brian said, reach out to the CSU campuses if you have any more questions. All of us counselors, we're here available for you as well inside the College and Career Center. So please let us know if there's anything else that we can do for you. But again, thank you everybody and have a good evening. Good night. Thank you.